Hello guys and welcome to my exclusive YouTube review for Kobolds and Catacombs. Today I want to discuss the cards and give you my opinion on the cards. I will try to be quite fast because I will do it in one video, and I will also try to be precise on if the card is going to see play or not in my opinion, and I will not be very vague and say like, oh, it might see play under certain circumstances. I'll just say under the current circumstances, will it or will it not see play? Let's go. Druid first, and we see already a pretty interesting card. 1 mana, Bark Skin, give a minion plus 3 health, gain 3 armor. Oh, also one more thing. Before I review every single card, I will read it because it's a longer video, so a lot of you guys maybe will watch it without actually watching the video. So I want to make it also good for only audio. So yeah. 1 mana, Bark Skin Druid card, give a minion plus 3 health, gain 3 armor. I don't think this is good because gaining 3 health on a minion is good in aggressive decks, and aggressive decks don't make use of the armor, and while it's quite a bit of health, I don't think you can afford to play such a card because you already need a powerful minion, a minion that has a lot of attack. I think that Aggro Druid already has minions with a lot of health, but they don't really have attack. So this doesn't solve their problems. I don't think it will see play. Astral Tiger. 4 mana, 3/5, Death Rattle, shuffle a copy of this minion into your deck. Bad. I don't think it's good enough because unlike Jade Idol, it doesn't grow over time. Just shuffling infinite 3/5s in your deck is never going to be a winning game plan, sorry. You also have to play 4 mana for it. So like, try to imagine a situation late game, you play like Astral Tiger, your opponent maybe ignores it, maybe just kills it. Like, you will lose tempo by playing a 4 mana 3/5. It's never gonna work, it's not gonna see play. It's 100 dust. Greedy Sprite, okay, this is a good card. Gain an empty mana crystal. By the way it's worded, I also can tell you that it's probably going to give you a card to draw the same way Warlock does if you already have 10 mana, because from looking at other cards that have the similar effect, if they have an other effect like Jade Blossom has with summoning a Jade Golem, Nourish, you can draw the cards directly, Mire Keeper summons a 2/2, those cards don't give you the excess mana because they already have another effect, but this card only has the effect of gaining the mana, so I think it's gonna give you excess mana on 10, which I think makes it extra powerful. I'm not sure if you'll play this card and Mire Keeper and Jade Blossom and all the other things in Jade Druid, but for example, already I can tell you in a Big Druid is gonna take the place of Jade Blossom because it's a better body and it also draws you a card later in the game. So already Big Druid getting a pretty powerful card. Big Druid is already not playing Barnes, so you don't lose anything by playing this card. And yeah, it's definitely gonna see play. Now it's just a question of how much play it will see. It also has synergy with another card that I will talk about in 1 minute. And I think it makes it even extra spicy. But already great card. Fantastic card. Oaken summons 4 mana Druid spell, gain 6 armor, recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. This card is also very powerful. Most of the recruit cards I don't think are that powerful because they are very expensive for how much they recruit. But this is 4 mana and it recruits a minion that is 4 mana or less. On top of that, it gives you 6 armor. So if you already play if you already play consistently not that many minions that you want to recruit, this card is great. For example, look at Big Druid. Big Druid could play this card just to recruit the sprite, and then you either draw the sprite or you draw this card that pulls the sprite. And I think by playing 2 of each you can make the deck pretty consistent. Now I'm not sure how much space you have because you also have to play your big minions, but this card definitely looks great. One anti-synergy that it has is Mire Keeper. I don't think you can play this card and Mire Keeper in the same deck successfully, because then you ruin a bit of the consistency. So I don't know exactly if you're gonna play Oaken Summons plus the Sprite and not play Mire Keeper, or just play Sprite and Mire Keeper. I'm sure Sprite is going to see play. I am pretty sure Oaken Summons is also gonna see play. I'm like 90% on this card seeing play. And yeah, it looks like a really powerful Druid card. Also, the fact that you gain armor might be really important because Druid has a very powerful spellstone, and that spellstone upgrades by you getting armor. So you might play just because of the armor factor, and also because it summons your sprite. Ironwood Golem. 4 mana, 3/6 taunt, can only attack if you have 3 or more armor. This card is not good in my opinion. It's slightly better than Senjin. Yes, you can recruit it with the other card, but what happens if you naturally draw it? It's not powerful enough. It doesn't have space in Big Druid, doesn't have anything to do with J Druid. Like, yeah, it's a decent card on its own, it might be decent in Arena or something, but in Constructed it doesn't fit in any current deck, and I don't think I don't think the Taunt Druid is gonna become a thing. Hadronos is still very bad because he's a dev rattle and not a battle cry like Nzov. Dev rattles need to be very insane and cheap to be good. So yeah, I don't think Ironwood Golem is good. Not once you play. X-Lead, Fungal Lord, 5 mana, 2/4 legendary for Druid, also an elemental. After you play a minion, summon a copy of it. This is kind of like Faceless Manipulator, but it sticks on the board, so you can do what Faceless does and have an extra 2/4, and if they don't kill the 2/4 you can do the Faceless again next turn. So it's better than Faceless, but you can only play one. Druid never really wanted to play Faceless, to be honest, maybe in Wild with Aviana Kun, but in Standard I don't really think of any synergy that you can play this with. It is an interesting card for the future, but I don't think it will see play right now. Grizzle Guardian, 8 mana, 3/5 taunt, dev rattle, recruit, 2 minions that cost 4 or less. As I said, expensive minions that have dev rattles need to be incredibly broken to be good. This guy is super slow, and even if he recruits 2 minions, it won't see play. Like 0 chance discards his play. It's awful. Twig, fantastic card, absolutely insane. So first of all, let me talk a bit about the weapons. I think it's a nice idea from Blizzard to put legendary weapons in the game. I'm really interested to see how the new weapons will affect the weapon dynamic. By the way, sorry for the ambulances. You might hear one ambulance here and there, but I don't know what happens, whatever. Back to Hearthstone. I think the weapons are quite an interesting dynamic because right now people are not playing weapons and people are not playing weapon removal, but with the new influx of weapons that will be put into the game, I think people will play weapons and then people might be tempted to play weapon removal, and I'm really interested to see the dynamic of how this goes. It might go similar to Golaka and Pirates, like people are gonna play weapons when people don't play that much weapon removal, and then when people start playing a lot of weapon removal they will take out the weapons, and then the weapon removal becomes bad, so they take it out too, and then you can put back the weapons and catch them off guard. So it's gonna be a guessing game in a way, trying to predict the meta game and how people are going to build their decks. And I think that's okay. It's always going to be a factor in card games. Now talking specifically about Twig, I think the card is really powerful, and it's very powerful because if your opponent doesn't destroy it, and you can just attack their face, so unless they play a big taunt. But usually with Druid you kind of control the board. If your opponent has a big taunt and some other minions behind it, you probably are in a rough spot anyways. But yeah, they can stop you from attacking with the Twig by placing big taunts. If you can attack freely to their face for 5 times, you will be able to have a 20 mana turn. And that can be super powerful. I don't think you are going to play Maligos just because you can sometimes have a 20 mana turn, because if you play Maligos and Twig and they weapon removal your Twig, then your Maligos becomes useless. Twig is obviously really good with Medivh. You can have a very powerful turn. If your Twig is already equipped, you can play Medivh. If you have also 8 mana, obviously, you can play Medivh, and then you get 10 mana back, and you can play Ultimate Infestation or whatever you want. So that's super powerful. On the other hand, another dynamic, specifically about this card that I'm interested to see how it's gonna go, is what happens if your opponent has weapon removal. Because if they weapon remove your card on like turn 5, then they also ramp you up to 10 mana. because you get a 10 mana permanently. It works the same way Nourish works. And I think that's quite interesting. People are going to have to think when they want to use the weapon removal. I think the best time to use the weapon removal is one turn before Medivh. So when your opponent goes into the Medivh turn, or a turn that has potential to play Medivh in, you want to weapon remove. But not earlier, because then you give them too much mana by killing their weapon. And then they can play Medivh anyways, and then they can UI after Medivh. But I think this card is gonna see play even in a weapon removal meta, because you force them to have the weapon removal. And if they have it, you ramp up. If they don't have it, you destroy them. What is the bad situation for this card? The bad situation of this card is when you don't draw it early, when you draw it when you already have 10 mana, then they have no downside of destroying the weapon, and then they can punish you a little bit. But I think you will hard mulligan for the weapon, and it's gonna be a must play in Jade and Big Druid. Very powerful card, very scary card. People are gonna cry because of this card. You should hope you get this in the random weapon you get when you log in. Very good. Branching Paths, 4 mana, Druid spell, choose twice, draw a card, give your minions +1 attack, gain 6 armor. I don't think this card is good. Like, even though you can pick to draw 2 cards, or you can give your minions 2 attack, or you can give yourself 12 armor, I don't think Branching Paths is good, because all the effects that you can pick from are understated, and the combination of them is also understated, so you're just overpaying. Druid has so many efficient ways of playing that even if we would have Arcane Giant Druid be a thing, you still wouldn't play this card. And Jade Druid, Big Druid, Agro Druid are never gonna want to play this card. Lesser Jasper or Jasper Spellstone. 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. And then if you gain 3 armor, it will deal 4 damage to a minion. If you gain another 3 armor, it will deal 6 damage to a minion. So it's a very powerful card. Probably is going to be played in Jade and Big Druid. I'm not sure if Big Druid can fit all these cards, but maybe some cards from the deck will change. But I'm pretty sure Druid is going to play it because it's a very good removal card. It's very cheap, and Druid naturally gains armor anyways. So they might as well just play this card and have a free fireball almost. Like 1 mana fireball to a minion. But you only care about removing their minions, because if you remove their minions, then you can kill them with your minions. That's how Druid operates nowadays. I think it's a very powerful card, and it will see play. Well, that's it with Druid. They get a lot of good cards, that's the conclusion that I have. Agro Druid gets slightly better, but we'll talk about that when we go through neutrals. Jade Druid, Big Druid get also better, and Druid is gonna continue being a very good class. I don't think it gets as much from this set as other classes do, so it might not be at the top of the meta, but I still think it will be up there. And in some specific situations where people don't play that much weapon hate, Tweak can be like super carry card. Hunter! Right now, probably the worst class in the game. I think Hunter got really powerful cards, and let's just jump into it. 3 mana 2/4, Beast, Cave Hydra. Also damages the minions next to whomever this attacks. I don't think it's good enough to make the cut. Hunter 3 mana cards is a very competitive slot. I don't think this card does enough. Hunter wants to also play from ahead. They want to play the 1-drop, they want to play the 2-drop, and then they want to already have the board empty and play the 3-drop on the empty board. If you play this card on the empty board, it doesn't really do anything. This card is only good when you play it on the empty board and then your opponent plays 3 minions or 2 minions into it and then also positions them well. Not gonna work. I don't think it's gonna see play. Candle Shot. People might say that this weapon is good because it makes pirates playable in Hunter, but I don't think that you want to play pirates in a lot of decks because Golaka is a thing and you might have diminishing returns. Pirates are also not beasts, so I don't think the fact that this card allows you to play deckhand is a plus. I think Hunter should go just full beast oriented, so I will pass on Candle Shot. Another thing about this card is the effect is useless, immune while attacking. This weapon you want to use it early game, correct? Correct. early game, your opponent's minions are what, like swashbucklers, 2/1s, 1/1s. You don't really mind taking 1 or 2 damage in the early game, and I don't think that preventing this damage is gonna be game changing. It's also a horrible top deck, and it might also slow you down if you want to have Eaglehorn Bone free. So I don't think Candleshot is a good card and it will not see play. Rock Delar. I was talking when I saw the To My Side card, which we are gonna get to soon, that if they print a very broken card that also has the same requirement as To My Side of having no minions in your deck, To My Side might see play because of that. Well, this card is not that. It's not a broken card. It's a pretty good card, but the requirement, the cost for this card to function is too big, and other than meme decks, I don't think this will see any relevant play. Let's go to My Side next, because it fits with the other card. Yeah, the card is pretty bad. Again, might see play in the future if they make another, even more powerful card that has the same requirement. Maybe they will want to put Hunter into this direction, and then it might see play, but right now I think it's bad. There will probably be people trying to make this card work just to show that a bad card can work, but I think in the long run this card is not gonna have a success, at least in this expansion. Flanking Strike, fantastic card. 4 mana, Hunter spell, deal 3 damage to a minion and summon a 3/3 wolf. I'm also assuming that the wolf is a beast. This card is great! It's like... okay, it's like an implosion that hits 3. But instead of summoning 3 1/1s, you summon a 3/3, which is arguably better because it's more solid and you can Houndmaster it. But I guess you don't want to Houndmaster it because you want to play this on 4. You can coin this into Houndmaster though, a lot of the time. I definitely think this card will see play. Staple in like every Hunter deck. Even though it cannot hit face, every matchup you want to fight for board. Every deck has minions almost, other than like Quest Mage or stuff that you already beat. Like, decks that don't have minions, you already beat them because of the pressure. Decks that have minions, you want to fight for the board. This is a great card for fighting for the board. And just, yeah, it's gonna be a staple in Hunters. Fantastic card. This and the neutral 1 mana 1/3 is going to make Midrange Hunter pretty good in my opinion, like tier 2, something like that. But yeah, insane card. By the way, one thing that I noticed until now, a lot of the really good cards are quite cheap to craft, and a lot of the epics are quite bad, and legendaries are also the same way. So yeah, the game is not that expensive. Okay, Hunter Spellstone. Lesser Emerald Spellstone, 5 mana, summon 2 3/3 wolves. If you play a secret, it will summon 3 wolves, and if you play another secret, it will summon 4 wolves. It's a really good card, but secrets in Hunter, you don't want to play them in the mid-range version, which I think is going to be the best version. You will not play full spell Hunter because that deck is not good. A realistic possibility is that Secret Hunter might actually be a thing. And if Secret Hunter is a thing, this card is going to be the MVP in that deck. So it's either Secret Hunter or it doesn't see play. It's very hard for me to estimate if Secret Hunter is going to see play because there's a lot of very powerful decks in the current meta. I think straight up mid-range Hunter is better than Secret Hunter, but Secret Hunter has some powerful tools. I will definitely try it out when it comes out. The new Secret is also quite interesting card, but it's only good when you're behind, so I'm not sure. Hunter doesn't really have card draw, that's why Secret Hunter is not that great. They got the Stitch Tracker, which offers them some kind of card draw, and that made the deck a little bit better, but they still run out of cards very quickly. This card might give them some more juice, but I don't think it's enough to make Secret Hunter tier 1 or tier 2 even. On the other hand, as I said, mid-range Hunter really good. Sipping Oozling. 6 mana 5/4, Battle Cry, gain the Death Rattle of a random minion in your deck. I mean, this can combo with Savannah, it can combo with Grandmother. It's not a beast, which makes it a bit worse. I don't think you can find a place for this in mid-range Hunter. You might not even have space for 2 Savannahs, for example, so you'll definitely not be playing this. This card might only work in a more greedy deck that is built around the legendary that Hunter gets. but I don't think such deck will be fast enough to be good in the current meta game. So basically the card is not really good right now. Talking about the legendary, Katrina the Winter Wisp, Battlecry and Death Rattle Recruit a Beast. I think it's a pretty good card, and you can build a pretty good deck around it with more expensive beasts, but I don't think that's gonna be consistent. You're just gonna die until turn 8. What you could realistically do is play this in Secret Hunter and cut cards like Grandmother and only play like big beasts. So I could see this in like Secret Hunter. Secret Hunter with only some big beasts like Savannah, maybe King Crush or something, and then play Katrina Winter Wisp. I could also see Katrina in just like a straight up mid-range hunter, and then you hope for the best. You hope you don't get Alley Cat, you hope you don't get that 1-3, but I don't think that's gonna be good enough. Very unlikely to see play. So like the only way Katrina sees play is in Secret Hunter that also has some big beasts like Savannah and King Crush and whatever other big beasts you can find. But I'm not sure if that's gonna be a thing. Because a lot of the time you're just gonna draw the big beast without drawing Katrina, so that's not really good. So I think Katrina is kind of slow and won't see play. Wandering Monster. 2 mana secret. When an enemy attacks your hero, summon a 3-cost minion as the new target. 3-cost minion is usually a 3-3. And the fact that you can avoid lethal with this card is interesting. The fact that your opponent attacks into your minion and then your minion sticks and deals the damage back is also quite nice. It's probably better than Bear Trap, but it depends on the circumstance. Like Bear Trap is better if you want to do the trades yourself and maybe go face. This card is better if you want to protect more efficiently. It's pretty good card, I think. You might play it in Secret Hunter, at least as a one-off. But I'm not sure of the dynamic of Secret Hunter. Maybe you don't want to play this. Maybe Bear Trap is just better. Like, you definitely will want to play Snake Trap, and if you play Snake Trap, you also want some secrets that activate only on the face. And this might be one of them, but you'll have to see if Bear Trap is better. And it might be better in some matchups and worse in others, but it's definitely a consideration for Secret Hunter, and it's good that Hunter has the tools to choose from what secret they want to use. Crushing Walls, destroy opponents left and right most minions. Too expensive to be good. Not gonna see any play. Even in like mid-range hunter as a one-off, it won't see play because you'd rather play Deadly Shot over playing this. It's more consistent. So yeah, these are the hunter cards. Overall, I think hunter is going to be pretty good, way better than now. Definitely not the worst class in the game, with mid-range hunter being pretty good with the cards they got. Secret Hunter, question mark. I think there is a way it could work. I don't think it's gonna be tier 1 or anything crazy like that, but it could work. Looking forward to playing some Hunter. I think it's gonna be nice. Mage. Shifting Scroll is the first card. No cost. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a random mage spell. Effects like this have never been good in the past. I doubt it's gonna be good. You don't have time to wait until it's gonna give you a favorable spell. On the other hand, you can play it in Quest Mage, and then you might have time to wait until you get a freeze. Technically, it's a created card, right? It didn't start in your deck. So while it looks bad, it might still be good enough to see playing Quest Mage. We need to look at how many mage spells there are, and I think there are quite a bit. I don't think the chance of you hitting a freeze is that consistent, so I'm inclined to say that it's not even good enough for, Quest Mage. But if it sees play, it will see play in Quest Mage, but most likely won't see play. Dragon's Fury, reveal a spell from your deck and then deal damage equal to its cost to all minions. This is very powerful. It's going to deal at least 3 damage to all the minions, because every single mage deck will play Arcane Intellect, so that's like the worst thing you can hit. Other than Arcane Intellect, you're probably gonna play this card, and maybe Blizzards, Meteors, Flame Strikes, Fire Lance Portals, so all the spells are quite expensive. is definitely gonna be played in control Jaina Mage, if it's gonna be played at all, and I think it will be played. I think control Mage is going to be a thing. I'm still thinking what is the win condition of the deck, and usually they win with Medivh, Jaina, running you out of stuff. And I think while it's a very good card, if you play too much AoE, people will just not overextend, and if they play smart, they might catch you. It's a very good card if your opponent overextends and just pukes his hand, and that's nice because we're gonna have some more counterplay. But yeah, it's a really good card, it will see play. I'm not sure if it's gonna dominate the metagame or anything like that, but it's pretty powerful. Dragon Color Alana is the Mage Legendary, 9 mana 3/3, battle cry summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you cast this game that costs 5 or more. This card might seem good, and even might be decent in some situations. Maybe you will have to play it in that Mage that I was talking about because you have so many 5 mana or more spells, and you don't really have that many minions. So on turn 9 you can just go for Alana, make a full board, force him to have a removal. On the other hand, I can think Anduin kills this, but what if they don't have Anduin? You just like kill them. Maybe you can also ban Priest. So in tournaments, this deck will see play mostly, and if you ban Priest, which you probably will do, this card can actually be quite nice. Even against Priest, it's good against Dragonfire Potion. So yeah, while it doesn't look like a powerful card, just because you play all the other 5 mana or more cards, you might also jam this card in. And yeah, it might look a bit greedy to have Medivh and Alana and Jaina and Alexstrasza. You might just cut Alexstrasza maybe, I don't know. But I think an extra late game card is not going to be bad. So I think Alana is going to see some play. It's not going to be again insane or broken, but it's probably going to be okay in that deck. Deck Wonders. Shuffle 5 scrolls into your deck when drawn cast a random spell. Garbage. There's no way this is good. It's kind of like that 5 mana minion that casts random spells. It's too inconsistent to be good. It doesn't even do anything on the spot. You pay 5 mana and then it does nothing. And then maybe in the upcoming turns you get a plus. It's only a fun card. Again, it's an epic card, so that's great. It's gonna be quite cheap to buy all the good cards from this expansion. And there are quite some good cards and most of them are cheap. Leyline Manipulator, 4 mana 4/5, battle cry. If you're holding any card that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2. People have been saying that this card is going to be used to do a non-quest OTK mage version. The combo being, you have a Sorceress Apprentice in your hand, and then you Simulacrum the Sorceress twice, and then you play the Leyline, and the Leyline is going to cause reduce the Simulacrum the Sorcerer Apprentices to 0. And then you can go Antonidas, 0 mana Sorceress, 0 mana Sorceress, and then you either go Reflection for 2 and then 1 mana, or you go Sorceress for 2 mana and Reflection for 1 mana, and then you just start casting Fireballs. I don't think this is more consistent than Quest Mage, just because you need way too many cards to start and do the combo. I think it's going to be hard because you have to draw Sorceress and 2 Simulacrums and have time to play the Simulacrums. Afterwards play the Leyline, and then afterwards have Antonidas and the Sorceresses. After playing Wild, where you have Emperor, there you just need to draw 4 combo pieces, Emperor, and then have 4 ways of making a Sorceress plus Tony, and you win the game. It's way more simpler than Leyline, and I still wouldn't say that deck is better in Wild than Quest Mage is in Standard. It's just because if your opponent constantly pressures you, you are not going to have that much time. And for example, let's say you have the Leyline, but they proc your block, and you don't, you cannot go for like block and Leyline and do something else. It's just, I don't think it's gonna be better than Quest Mage. I might be wrong, there might be something I don't see. I know you make some more space in the deck, you can afford to play, let's say, Loot Hoarders or Acolytes, but I think the meta is also going to be quite aggressive, even more aggressive than it was before. And in a slower meta, you have time anyways to complete your quest. Also, this deck is super bad against Dirty Rat. If they Dirty Rat your Sorceress, then you need to find your second Sorceress, and both Simulacrums, and Leylin, and Antonidas, and Reflections. It's kind of like a science fiction situation. I don't think it's more consistent than doing the quest, and I know that you start with an extra card in your hand, you don't have to play the quest, keep the quest, you don't have to go through the RNG of Tome, but overall I still think it's slightly worse than Quest Mage. That's my bold prediction. Arcane Artificer. 1 mana 1/2 elemental. Whenever you cast a spell, gain armor equal to its cost. In very aggressive metagames, this can be a tech in the Control Mage deck. Once you play in any other deck, Control Mage might play this. It's gonna be annoying, but I don't know, you have to play it on like turn 6 with a 5 mana card. It's probably not even gonna see play in that deck. Yeah. If I have to choose if this card is gonna see play or not, I'm gonna say that it's not gonna see play. Explosive Runes. Secret: after your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it and any access to their hero. This is quite good. But how good? Is it good enough that you play it in your Kirin Tor Mage aggro deck? Maybe. And I actually think a very aggressive tempo mage might be born because of the mage weapon that we're gonna talk about very soon. If aggressive mage will see play, and I think it will. This card might be good enough to make the cut. I'm not sure if you wanna play 2 of it, but definitely at least 1. So yeah, it's a good card. Deals damage to your opponent's face and kills their minion. It's really good. Lesser Ruby Spellstone. Really good card. One of the best cards. Actually, all the Spellstones are really good. The only downside is that you have to upgrade it. So basically it's a 2 mana card which says add 1 random maze spell to your hand, and if you play 2 elementals it will add 2 cards. If you play 2 more elementals it will add 3 cards. It's a 2 mana Kabbalist Tome if you manage to play 4 elementals. The issue I have with the card is that Elemental Mage doesn't really want to play that many elementals, so it might take you a while to upgrade it. But on the other hand, Elemental Mage also wants to go very long, so you'll have time to draw your elementals. I'm not sure how it's going to function, so even though it's a very powerful card, I don't really think it will see that much play at the beginning. It probably might see more play in the future. If people manage to find a mid-range tempo-oriented elemental mage that actually works, this card is gonna be the bomb, the bread and butter in the deck. But in the current deck archetypes, I don't think it will make the cut. Raven Familiar, 2 mana 2/2, Battlecry, reveal a spell in each deck. If yours costs more, draw it. It's too random to be good. You also always play Intellect, so like you might whiff on that. Even in the spell heavy deck, are you always going to win the joust between your 5 mana card and their whatever they play? Like against Druid you're probably not gonna win the joust. Against Priests you might win. You will win against Rogue for sure. It might actually see play. Even if it doesn't always give you the card, it's still a 2 mana 2/2. So it's like Iron Arcanologist. It's very hard to predict if this card is gonna see play or not. Like, I can definitely see it not see any play at all because it's too inconsistent. And I can also see it just being good enough. But since you already have a lot of good cards that you play, I will wage that it will not see play. Or at least not that much. Maybe it will see at the beginning, but once decks get more polished now. Alunet. 6 mana weapon. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. This card is only playable in very aggressive types of mage, and is a very powerful card because it draws 3 cards every single turn. One downside is that if you draw too many cards, you will overdraw, so you combat that downside by playing all the cards you can. If Tempo Mage becomes good because of this card, I'm not sure how consistently they're going to be able to have it on turn 6, but maybe they will start playing even with Kabal Lake, and play full secrets, just empty the hand, go super aggressive, and then play Adonet for refilling. The thing is, like, you force your opponent to have weapon removal, and if they don't, you draw 6 cards, and that's like insane. So I think this card single-handedly puts Tempo Mage on the map, and also makes the Mage secret way better than it is in context. So yeah, Adonet, another insane weapon, very good. Useless in any other Mage deck, so it's only good in aggressive Mage decks that can drop the hand very quickly, but I think it's a good card overall. And we'll see play. Paladin. Paladin is probably gonna be one of the worst classes in the expansion. The first card that we go to is a 2 mana Potion of Heroism. Give a minion Divine Shield and draw a card. It's probably the best card Paladin got this expansion. It's very good for the buff Paladin because one of the things that deck was drawing was card draw. One of the things that the deck was lacking, sorry, was card draw. But I don't think this is enough card draw to make the deck good. And I don't think Galvadon instantly wins you the game anymore. In a lot of situations, there's a lot of very sticky, annoying taunts that they can play, like Saganite Chain Gang, Dark Leaper, etc. So they can just block your Galvadon for one turn and then remove it and you lose the game or what. I think it's extremely unlikely for Galvadon to start seeing play, but if it sees play, this card is going to be one of the reasons why it does. Great card, in my opinion, won't see play because it doesn't really fit in any deck. I don't think Warlock Paladin wants draw either. So yeah, won't see play. Even though it's great. Might see play in future expansions. Crystal Lion. 6 mana, 5/5 Divine Shield. Costs 1 less for each Silver Hand recruit you control. How many Silver Hand recruits do you need to control for this card to be good? If you control 2, it costs 4. 4 mana, 5/5 Divine Shield is good. So if on turn 4, how many times on turn 4 can you have 2 recruits on the board? Never in the current meta. Maybe in Wild with Master for Battle this card can actually make the cut, but in Standard, no. But even in Wild, if we like to talk about it, if you have so many Silver Hand recruits, you'd rather have a way to buff them. Even for 4 mana, there's like that 3/4 guy that just adapts them. So yeah, once you play. Valani is the Paladin legendary weapon, 6 mana 4/2, Death Rattle. Give a minion in your hand +4/+2. When it dies, re-keep this. One reason why I think this might work is the fact that it instantly goes back as equipped. So they use it, buffs your minion. If you can get rid of that minion, it gets it back. So it's a fantastic card for aggro mid-range decks. Is it good enough to make aggro Paladin a thing? I don't know. I think aggro Paladin is quite close to being powerful. We saw even people doing well in ACT with it. I wouldn't disregard it. I think it's one of the powerful weapons. Seems insane in aggro decks. The fact that once you equip it, you can never get rid of it. That's so powerful. It's really powerful weapon. It might be good enough to make aggro Paladin better than Murloc Paladin, to be honest. You might play it in Murloc Paladin too. Why not? You have a lot of minions. You just need to make them die. I was saying aggro Paladin because they have more chargers there, like if you buff a deckhand you can just YOLO with it. But it probably also will be good in Murlocs. It's better to silence, so they can silence and stop the cycle. That will suck. So I guess it will depend on how much silence is in the meta, but if we have a meta like we have now, with like almost no silencing, this card might be good enough to make Murloc Paladin or aggro Paladin way better than it is. But again, it's a legendary, so you're not gonna draw it that often. Call to Arms. 4 mana, recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. People have been talking that the only utilization for this is playing minions like Dirty Rat that just have good stats and the downside effect, and then you can Call to Arms them. I don't think that's a realistic situation. I think Control Paladin is pure garbage, will continue to be pure garbage, and he's another epic that won't see play. Linessa Sun Sorrow, Battlecry. Okay, 7 mana, 1/1. Battlecry, cast each spell you cast on your minions this game on this one. First of all, let's leave aside the Galvadon situation, let's just look at Murlocs. if you look at Murlocs or whatever, yeah, Murloc Paladin is the only relevant deck that Paladin has that is also mid-range. They play Blessing of Kings and they play Spiry Steed. Let's say you hit Spiry Steed before Linessa. Is it good? It's meh. It's not like game winning. And if you hit Spiry Steed, any 7-drop you have afterwards, you probably win anyways. Like Bone Mare, for example. If you don't hit Spiry Steed before, even if you hit the Kings, this is like a disaster. So this card will not see play in Murloc Paladin. It will only see play in Galvadon Paladin. Is Galvadon Paladin good? No. So this card is also not gonna see play. Unless Galvadon Paladin is good, which is unlikely. Very unlikely. Lesser Pearl Spellstone. Summon 2/2 Spirit with Taunt. Restore free health to summon 2 2/2 Spirits with Taunt. And then you can restore 3 more to summon 3. Yeah, it might be a decent card, but it doesn't fit in the current Murloc Paladin, so once you play. But it's not even that great of a card, to be honest. Compared with the other Spellstones, it's probably one of the weakest. Benevolent Gene. 3 mana 2/4 Elemental. At the end of your turn, restore 3 health to your hero. Cards like this are not really good, because in the early game, on turn 3, when you want to play this card, it's understated, and the health you get is irrelevant. Later on, free health is irrelevant because it's too little. You would want bigger heals. You want to like heal for 8, for 10, for 20. And it also has bad stats and gets killed very easily. So it's bad in the early game because the heal is not good, and it's bad in the late game because the stats are not good and the heal is not enough. So this card is pure junk. Unidentified Mole. Gain a bonus effect in your hand. So, Unidentified Mole can upgrade into Champion's Mole, which does Battle Cry, summon 2 1/1 Silverhand recruits. So it summons 2 1/1s. That's similar to Master, but not quite. Purifier's Mole, Battle Cry, give your minions Divine Shield. That's not really that good because you're not gonna have a big board by turn 3. Actually, I don't know, it might fit in an aggro Paladin. Give your minions +1 attack is another alternative. This one is pretty bad, to be honest. It's good if your minions already have Divine Shield, you can buff them and then get some more value out of them. And then give your minions Taunt. Well, if the last 2 options were as good as the first 2 options, I would say that you would play this card in an aggro Paladin deck. Maybe even in Murloc Paladin. But the fact that the other 2 options are garbage, you never want to give your minions Taunt, and you never want to give your minions Attack. I mean, Attack might be decent once in a while, but I don't think it's gonna be that great. So no, this card is not gonna be that good once you play, in my opinion. Just because it has some bad option with the Taunt one, it's too random and not good enough. Level Up. It's like worse than... It's like 5 mana Paladin spell. Give your Silverhand recruits +2/+2 and Taunt. It's basically a worse Quartermaster. I don't think recruiters are going to be good at that good in Standard. It might see play in Wild, this card. It's one of the best decks in Wild. In Standard, I don't think you have enough consistent ways of making Silverhand recruits. So yeah, it won't see play. And the last card that Paladin has is the Drigulch Jailer. 2 mana, 1/1 Death Rattle, add 3 singular hand recruits to your hand. It's not even Battle Cry, it's Death Rattle. Like, if you could play it on 2 and then it always dies and then you get 3 silver hands and you play them on 3, it's kind of like a Master without having the weapon, so it's still super slow, conditional, and pretty bad. Because instead of going mini bot into Master, you go 1/1 that has to die into 3 1/1s and you don't get the weapon. Nah, not good enough, too slow. So yeah, Paladin. Murloc Paladin might get better because of Valanir. Galvadon Paladin gets better, but still probably won't be good enough. I think Paladin is not gonna be doing that well in the expansion. They got something. What I like is that until now, and probably also with the next classes, looking at Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, Warrior to go, I think most classes, maybe not Warrior, got cards that made a lot of the decks considerably better. But because every deck becomes better, your cards really need to shine for your deck to be good. And while Warlock Paladin might see some play once in a while, I don't think it's going to dominate the metagame, and I don't think Gavadon Paladin is going to be a thing. Let's go over to Priest. Priest is going to be the main thing in the next expansion, I pretty much believe so. They got some pretty sick cards for both Highlander and Dragon Priest. Let's start. Twilight Acolyte. 3 mana 2/4 if you're holding a dragon, swap this minion's attack with another minion's. So swapping attack is like really good. It's basically a better Blackwing Technician. If you're holding a dragon, you do a really powerful effect. It's a Blackwing Technician that is also good in late game, because in late game you have multiple combos. You can play this and combo it with Bookworm, or you can play this and combo it with Kobold Shadow Priest. Both combos are very efficient. You either steal your opponent's minion or kill it directly. And while you might not have space for Cabal, I think you're gonna play 2 Bookworms in every Dragon Priest. So this is gonna work wonderfully. I'm not sure what's the number of dragons to play in your deck to consistently get these cards going. And this guy is not a dragon himself, but I still think it will see play as a 2-off in every Dragon Priest. Great card. Gilded Gargoyle. 3 mana 2/2, Death Rattle, add a coin to your hand. Basically, poor man's Tomb Pillager. In a class that doesn't really have what to do with the coins. If it sees play, it sees play in Highlander Priest if you have nothing better. But I think you have better things to do than Gilded Gargoyle, so no once you play. Psionic Probe. 1 mana pre-spell, copy a spell in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. Too random. It might work maybe against Rogue, because they play very few spells and you know what you're taking. No, it's not gonna work. No. Once you play. Twilight's Call. 3 mana, summon 1/1 copies of 2 friendly Death Rattle minions that died this game. Summon 1/1 copies of 2 friendly minions that died this game. This card actually has potential. I'm not sure how good Death Rattle Priest is compared with Highlander and with Dragon Priest. It seems way harder to build and way harder to get going, but it's a card with a lot of potential. It will make your Zoff huge. Too bad you won't survive. So the card is good if you'd have a lot of time. But the current way HearthStone functions and the current way the powerful decks beat on the slower decks, this card is just too slow to be good. Lesser Diamond Spellstone. Resurrect 2 different friendly minions. And then if you cast 4 spells, it will resurrect 3 minions. And then if you cast 4 more spells, it will resurrect 4 minions, I think. Yeah. Too expensive. Might still be played in Big Priest as a one-off. Big Priest plays very few minions, so you have consistency on the resurrection, and it plays very many spells. It can be like a late game play if there is going to be, let's say, a control meta and Big Priest is gonna be a decent deck. I think this card is actually gonna see play as a one-off in Big Priest. It has potential there with how many spells you play. You also just need to cast 4 spells. I don't think you need to cast 4 spells in one turn. So whenever you cast the spells, it's good. That's pretty nice. Psychic Scream. This is probably the best card of the set. It's just fantastic card. I don't know how they printed such a powerful card. 7 mana, pre-spell, shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck. At least, if it would shuffle the minions into your deck, you could have some counterplay. People could play tokens to ruin the deck of Anduin, but no, you put a junk in their deck. This is incredible. I cannot even say how powerful this card is. The only bad part about this card is that you can only play 1 copy in Highlander Priest. Like, people are gonna pray this card is not in their opponent's hands. It's just gonna be too many AoEs. You will need to kill Priest until turn 6 or something like that. But they have like Kazakus, they just have like too much anti-aggro. We might have some interesting situation where people actually start playing Quest Mage or cheesy decks just to beat Priest, because otherwise if they play a board-oriented deck, they're just gonna get completely wrecked by Psychic Scream. But yeah, this card is fantastic. Definitely will see play in most Priest decks. Like, I'm not sure if Dragon Priest can play this and Dragonfire Potion. And I know they want to play Dragonfire Potion because they have dragons. But this card... Yeah, this card is probably worse than Dragonfire Potion in Dragon Priest. But way better in any other Priest. In like Big Priest and in like Highlander Priest. So yeah, sick card. Temporus. 7 mana, 6/6 Battlecry, your opponent takes 2 turns, then you take 2 turns. There's too much downside to this. Your opponent can just play minions. Like, okay, your opponent can attack you with what he has. And then he can play some minions. And then attack you again with the first minions and attack you again with the minions he played. You're gonna die if you play this card. So the fact that you get an extra turn afterwards is nice, but you're not gonna get a turn because you're gonna be dead. And I don't know how you can play around it. So yeah, it's technically better to be the second player that has the 2 turns in a row, because if he doesn't kill him, you probably kill him, but he's gonna kill you almost every single time, and if he doesn't, you probably win the game anyways. So I think it's a very bad card. It's a fun card, I like the design, but it's not gonna see competitive play. Priest is like fighting for the spots. They're not gonna be able to fit Temporus in the deck. I mean, even in one of Priest, in control matchups maybe, but nah, you're just gonna die. No, it's not. It's not. It's also bad with Sagro. No. Duskbreaker. This is a very powerful card. 4 mana, 3/3 dragon. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all the other minions. Is basically Hellfire with a body if you're holding a dragon. And similar to Operative, he's a dragon himself, which I think makes it even more busted. Like, at least if he wasn't a dragon, you need to play other dragons. It might be more difficult to set up combos. But the way it's made right now is just way too good. And it will push Dragon Priest a lot. I wouldn't say it's the best card of the set, but it's up there. It's just sick card, very powerful. I still don't know if Dragon Priest is gonna be better than Highlander Priest, to be honest. If the 2 decks face each other, I think Highlander has the option to beat Dragon Priest. Maybe if everybody's playing Highlander and Dragon Priest, Highlander Priest is gonna take out Dragonfire Potion because it's useless against Dragon Priest. That'll be something interesting to see. Unidentified Elixir. So the possible elixirs that this card can give you. One second, let me find it. Okay. It can give a minion +2/+2 and Divine Shield. It can give a minion +2/+2 and then summons a 1/1 copy of it. It can give a minion +2/+2 and Lifesteal, or +2/+2 and Death Rattle, return this minion to your hand. So the last one is bad. The Lifesteal one is atrocious. Summoning a 1/1 copy of it might be good in specific decks, but not that great in others. And giving it Divine Shield is pretty good. So against the other, like, it has 2 good options and 2 bad ones. Very unlikely to see play. If I had to choose, I would say that it won't see play because of the inconsistency. But it's still a fun card. It fits the theme with like dungeons being like random in a way. You don't know what you're gonna get. You roll the dice and then you have to deal with the outcome, stuff like that. But I'm happy that these kind of cards are probably not gonna see competitive play. Dragon Soul is the last card from Priest, and it's the legendary weapon. 3 mana, 0/3. After you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. Well, how many 5/5 dragons do you need to summon for this card to be good? 1 is already good. 2 is like you start getting value. Probably will see play. Yeah, I think this card will see play in quite a bit of decks. Definitely in Big Priest, right? You play so many spells, you might as well just summon some dragons on the side. Okay, Big Priest is going to play this in meta games where people don't play Weapon Hate. People play Weapon Hate, Big Priest is not going to play this. And same for Highlander Priest. Highlander Priest is going to play this weapon in meta games where people don't play Weapon Hate. But it's a good card. But it's conditional, because if people play Weapon Hate, the downside is too big. If they don't play Weapon Hate, you might as well play it in decks that have spells. So sure. Rogue is the next class. I didn't give a conclusion on Priest, but the conclusion is Priest is gonna be tier 1. I think Dragon Priest is gonna be a bit worse than Highlander Priest, but still really good and up there. And Big Priest might be tier 2 or something. Also gets a bit better. Rogue. I really like the cards that they gave Rogue. Actually, I don't know. I like the cards that they gave to every class. Every class got some tools to do some interesting things. I really like this. So, Cavern Shiny Finder, 2 mana, 3/1, battle cry, draw a weapon from your deck. This card is really good in Weapon Rogue. Obviously, outside of Weapon Rogue, you don't want to play it, but in Weapon Rogue, I think it's gonna be good. Is Weapon Rogue gonna be good? I think it has a high chance of being good because of the 1 mana weapon and because of the 3 mana Shadow Blade. I think this card will see play. Not that much, because I still think KLSF decks are going to dominate the Rogue, at least in the first days, weeks, until people polish a nice Weapon Rogue list. But when people polish a Weapon Rogue list, this might even be better than KLSF Rogue, because it might be good against KLSF Rogue due to how fast it is, and it also might be good against Priest and other decks due to how fast it is. So I predict Weapon Rogue at some point taking the place of KLSF Rogue, and this card being the centerpiece. Kingsbane, Rogue legendary weapon, very powerful card. Will see play in Weapon Rogue, won't see play in KLSF Rogue, and might see play in Miracle if Miracle is playing Deadly Poison. But maybe people are gonna make a Miracle Cycle Weapon Rogue. I'm not sure if the Miracle Cycle Weapon Rogue is gonna be better than just the pure tempo pirate Weapon Rogue. We'll see. But definitely will see play. Great card. Lesser Onyx Spellstone. Destroy 1 random enemy minion. Play 3 Dev Rattle cards to upgrade. And then you can play 3 more Dev Rattle cards to destroy 3 minions. Too slow? And you want to fight for board? Like, usually you want minions that destroy other minions. That's why Vile Spine is perfect. If your opponent has, like, let's say 3 minions already on the board, you are not going to use this card. Also, Dev Rattle Rogue is going to be way weaker than other Rogue decks. This card will see 0 play. Elven Minstrel. 4 mana, 3/2, combo, draw 2 minions from your deck. I think this card is sick in KLSF Rogue. I think KLSF Rogue currently has problems with card draw. How did they solve the problems with card draw? They made the deck more expensive. Do you guys really think Lich King is that good of a card in Tempo Rogue? It's not really. Even Cairn, to some extent, is not really the best card you can play. Minstrel, I think, will definitely take the place of Lich King, and maybe you'll cut some of the other free drops to play this card as a 2-off, and it will probably give you enough card draw to sustain yourself during the game. Yeah, I think it's gonna be played in KLSF Rogue. I don't know if it's good enough to be played in Miracle. I think Miracle will have better, more consistent card draw engines, but one way or another, this card is going to see play for sure. Evasion, the first Rogue Secret. By the way, I really like the fact that they gave Rogue Secrets. It adds some more flavor, and even though they will probably not see play, it's interesting to have them. After your hero takes damage, become immune this turn. It's very easy to play around it, and I don't think it's gonna be played. I think it's worse than the other 2 secrets. Let's go to the other 2 secrets first. Cheat Death and Sudden Betrayal. So Cheat Death says, when a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand. It costs 2 less. This card might be played on its own. It's pretty strong. It's a better getaway Kodo if you can get it going. It might be played in like Weapon Rogue, it might be played in Miracle Rogue. Imagine you play this card and then you play Auctioneer. You go Auctioneer, prep this card. It can lead to some very insane plays if you have time to play it. My only worry is that it's a bit slow, but if you combo this with some cards that are fast, then it might be better than a card like Mimikpod, for example. And yeah, I think this card will see play. On the other hand, if it's your only secret, and if it's the only secret that sees play, people will know what it is, so they will play around it. Ideally, you would want more secrets to see play. You would want a secret that hits your minions and a secret that hits your face to see play. Sudden Betrayal says when a minion attacks your hero, instead of it attacks one of its neighbors. It's better than Misdirection, but that doesn't make it a good secret. I don't think you will play this card only because it's good with the other secret. Actually, Sudden Betrayal is good with Evasion because due to Evasion, they want to attack with the biggest minion first. And if you attack with the biggest minion first, Sudden Betrayal is going to punish them. Oh, actually it doesn't. You just attack with the big minion into a smaller minion. You get a bit punished. It means they attack with the big minion. But Rogue is not Freeze Mage. In Freeze Mage, playing Sudden Betrayal and Evasion could be tricky and interesting and good together. But I think Sudden Betrayal is not good enough. So the only playable secret seems to be Cheat Death. And you'll have to play it on its own so people are gonna know what it is. But how do they play around it? Like, let's say you play it with Auctioneer. Are they gonna not kill your Auctioneer? If Auctioneer is their only minion, they have to do something. So I think it's gonna be good if you can put them consistently in situations where they have to kill your minion and they don't want to. So yeah, this one has a chance of seeing play, the others don't, in my opinion. Faldoray Strider. 4 mana 4/4. Battle Cry Shuffle 3 ambushes into your deck. When drawn, summon a 4/4 spider. I think this card is really good. I think it's close to Tomb Pillager level of good in Miracle Rogue. The issue is that if Miracle Rogue is not going to be good, this card is not going to see play, even though the card is amazing. It's not good enough as Tomb Pillager was to be played in aggro decks. So I don't think, no, I'm pretty sure, I can bet, you will not play this in KLSF Rogue, and you will not play this in Weapon Pirate Rogue. So the only archetype where this card sees play is Miracle Rogue. Now, Miracle Rogue is quite slow. Can you make Miracle Rogue fast enough? And also keep the cycle needed to make this card good? Seems slightly conditional. It might work. I think people might be able to make a weapon Miracle Rogue that is fast in cycling and fast in damage, and that might work out. But I will say this card is not going to see play. It's more likely that Miracle Rogue is not going to come out and be a successful deck than that it just is. I think this card is going to see play at some point in the future though. It will not rotate out for another 1 year and 4 months. This card is great, and if ever Miracle Rogue is going to be good, this card is going to be good. I think it will have most chances when patches rotates out, because the meta might slow down a little bit. We'll see. Definitely good card, but won't see play most likely. Right now. Sonia, Shadow Dancer. 3 mana 2/2, Rogue Legendary. After a friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 copy of it to your hand. It costs 1. Might be good in KLSF Rogue, but what do you want to hit? Swashbuckler? Maybe. I still don't think it's consistent enough. Might be good in Quest Rogue, but Quest Rogue is garbage. This card is not good enough to make Quest Rogue a thing. Most likely won't see play. I mean, it's really good in KLSF Rogue with some of the cards. Maybe it might see play in KLSF Rogue. It's probably better than Shaco. Yeah, it might see play in KLSF Rogue. I will say it will see play in KLSF Rogue, but not always. So kind of like Shaco or like Fledgling are right now. You sometimes see them, you sometimes don't. It's not going to be a staple. The last card Rogue has is Kobold Illusionist. 4 mana 3/3 Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 copy of a minion from your hand. Bad. Again, the thing I have with Death Rattles, they have to be really good to see play. This is not really good, so it won't see play. Also, you cannot control it. Like, they can just summon it on their turn. And unless it's like a cairn or something, then you don't punish them. You cannot like play Maligos and do some shenanigans. No, not gonna work. Unless you can like kill this guy, play this guy, kill this guy in the same turn and pull a Maligos with less than 9 mana, and then you can like combo them. No, it's not gonna work. Yeah, overall, Rogue got some pretty sweet cards. Rogue already has a very powerful core set and a really powerful set of cards already, so they don't need much to be great. I think Rogue is going to be one of the best decks in the game. Kelesef Rogue gets better, and Miracle Rogue gets better, Weapon Rogue gets better, and maybe there will be a possibility to just mix Weapon and Miracle Rogue and create a hybrid Weapon, fast, aggressive Miracle Rogue, which might be better than Kelesef Rogue. It only needs to win the mirror and be a bit better against Priest to take its spot. So, fingers crossed, I would love to see Miracle being better than Kelesef. Let's continue with Shaman. Shaman got some interesting cards, but I don't think they're that good overall. I don't think they're good enough to put Shaman over the top as it used to be. The first card is the 3 mana spell Healing Rain. Restore 12 health, randomly split among all friendly characters. This is quite good if we still had the big AoE that kills everything, the one that deals 5 and 6 to everybody. We still have Volcano in the game, so you can play it with that. It's good because if you have no minions, you guarantee heal 12 to your face, and it has no overload or anything like that. So Crusher Shaman, basically Shaman that clears the board and then plays some big minions, Fatigue Shaman or however you want to call it, might get better because of this card, but it will just lose to Priest, it will just lose to Druid. Maybe you'll beat some rogues. Maybe it's gonna be a tournament deck where with a ban you might do something, but I doubt it's gonna be good, so I'll say this card won't see play for now, might see play in the future if Crusher Shaman, Removal Shaman, however you wanna call it, is gonna be a thing. Crushing Hand, deal 8 damage to a minion, overload 3. Not really good enough. It's costed very cheap, but you want to use it on later turns, and on later turns you'd rather pay the mana than pay with overload. Unless you want to do very powerful things in one turn, which also fits the Crusher Shaman, and I don't know in which metagame you'd want to delay damage to a minion as a Shaman, so yeah, I would say that it won't see play. Murmuring Elemental, really powerful card, it's kind of like a brand for elementals. 2 mana 1/1, is an elemental himself. Battle Cry, your next Battle Cry this turn triggers twice. Very powerful card. It will see play in elemental decks, but I'm not sure if elemental decks will see play. Let's look at all the Shaman cards and then we can discuss it a bit more thoroughly. But if elemental decks see play, this card is gonna see play in them. Unstable Evolution is a fantastic card. 2 of each in every Evolved Shaman. How good is Evolved Shaman? Right now it's bottom of tier 2, I would say. How good it will be after the next expansion? Maybe middle of tier 2. Gets way better because of this card. This card is super good late game card. Like you draw it late game and you can make a big board. You can make a 9 mana minion from a totem. That's great. It just fills the gaps. Evolved Shaman always had empty mana to play with, and this card is fantastic for that. Also, if you hit a bad minion from an evolution, you can go for a bigger one. I hope it will be a good deck because people will have to like run statistics and know exactly what are the best mana costs to evolve to. It also has insta-win potential if you hit a Sorcerer's Apprentice or a Radiant Elemental. I'm not saying you should do what people on Reddit say, just go patches and then Bloodsail, pull the patches from your deck, coin evolve, get a Radiant, or coin this card and get a Radiant. You don't do stupid things like that. What you will do in the real world, you're gonna play like 5 1-drops, and then you're gonna play Evolve, and then if you hit one of Sorceress or Radiant Elemental, you just win the game because you make every other minion a 10-drop, and then you have the option of also making the Radiant or Sorceress into a 3-drop. You might not, but you make basically a board of 10 drops. which usually will translate into you winning the game. So it's a great card late game, has insta-win potential, fits the macros of what a good card is gonna be. I think it's gonna take the place of Bloodlust, and it will make Evolve Shaman way more consistent. I still don't think it's going to be good enough to be tier 1 or even top of tier 2, but it's gonna be a middle tier 2 deck. Maybe slightly better in the next meta than it is in the meta right now. So if you like Shaman, this is the card you should get. If you like Evolve Shaman. Primal Talismans, 3 mana spell, give your minions Death Rattle, summon a random basic totem. Bad, slow. Again, same issue with Death Rattles. Most Death Rattles are fillers. They need to be like so good to see play, and these Death Rattles are... They could make them battle cries and they will still not see play. Kobold Hermit, talking about battle cries. 2 mana 1/1. Battle cry, choose a random basic totem, summon it. It's better than hero powering, but you lose a card. It's not good in any Shaman archetype. Unless Totem Shaman becomes a thing, and I doubt it. So yeah, I won't see play. Obviously we'll see play in Totem Shaman, but I doubt that will become a thing. Wind Shear Stormcaller, 5 mana 5/5. If you control all 4 basic totems, summon unlucky the Wind Lord. How consistently will you play this guy on 5? Never. So it won't see play because of that. Like, your opponent is never going to let your totems, like let's say on turn 4 you just make a lot of totems and you have 4 totems. How many times is your opponent not going to kill your totems? Okay, what is a turn where you have like 2 totems and you can summon 2 totems and then play the Stormcaller? 7, 8? You might as well just play Alake in your deck. The 5/5 doesn't do anything. I was thinking that this might work if you can play 2 of these and get 2 Alakirs. But if you play 2 of these and you get 2 Alakirs, that's 4 minions. You need 4 totems. You only have 7 spaces on the board. So because of board restrictions, you will never be able to go turn 10 this and summon this twice and then summon 2 Alakirs. Other considerations, I don't know, Alakir OTK with Rock Biters and Flame Tongue. I don't think it's possible. It's not. So, no, well, not good enough, I think. It's cool that they make some Totem Shaman cards, better than making freezing cards, but I don't think it's good enough to make Totem Shaman good, and it won't see play. Grumble, World Shaker. 6 mana 7/7. Battle Cry, return your other minions to your hand and they cost 1. This card is really good. Definitely will see play in Elemental Shaman. Again, I don't think Elemental Shaman is going to be good enough. I doubt it. I think Elemental Shaman is going to be something around top of tier 3. It's going to be slightly worse than Warlock Paladin. I think it's going to be worse than Evolve Shaman. I might be wrong though. It's very hard to predict. There might be some things that I'm missing. Maybe this plus the other elemental card just puts Shaman over the top. There is a very interesting 1-turn kill combo that doesn't require that many cards. You need 2 of the elemental that reduces the cost of cards in your hand, or of elementals in your hand, sorry. You need this legendary, and you need the Marmoring elemental. And you play the... And you also need Zola, is like a neutral legendary that gives a copy of... It has the battle cry of making a copy of a card from your board and adding it to your hand. So the basic idea is you play the 2 elementals that reduce the other elementals. Then you play the Murmuring elemental for 0. After you play the 2 elementals, you first play the legendary. You take the elementals back. So now you have the Grumble on the board, okay? You paid how much mana for this? 2 mana, 4 mana, and then 4 mana for this. So you paid 8 mana total. Wait, did you pay 8 mana? Do you have mana to play everything? I don't know. There was it was somebody that posted a combo on Twitter. I don't know exactly. I'm missing something for the mana. But basically, you play the elementals that cost reduce your legendary. Maybe you have to play them like 1 turn before, and then basically next turn, Like maybe you have to play like one of the cost-reducing elementals one turn before. Oh, okay. What I was missing is like the first guy you play costs 2, and then the second elemental costs 1 because he gets cost reduced by the first one. Okay. So you pay 2 mana for the elemental that reduces other elementals, 1 more for the second guy, and then you pay 4 for Grumble. So that's 7 mana total. You have Grumble on board, and you have the 1 mana elementals now in your hand. Then you go and play this guy for 0 mana. Then you play Zola for 3 mana, for a total of 10 mana. You Zola the Grumble, and now you have 2 Grumbles in your hand. So now basically your hand is going to be 2 Grumbles and 2 elementals that reduce the cost of other elementals. Those elementals cost 1 mana, and Grumble costs 6, and you have 2 Grumbles. And then the basic idea is that next turn you have Fireplume Phoenix, which instead of 4 mana is now 2 mana because you already cost reduced it the previous turn with the 2 elementals. You play the elementals, the first one for 1 mana, second one for 0 mana, and then you have the Fireplume Phoenix for 0 mana. You Fireplume Phoenix him, then the 2 Grumbles in your hand are going to be 4 mana. So you just play the Grumble for 4 mana, and you take back the other guys for 1 mana, and then you play the 1 mana cost reducing guy, and then everything else gets cost reduced. And basically for like 10 mana during 2 turns, if you have Grumble in your hand, Zola in your hand, Fireplume in your hand, 1 Murmuring Elemental in your hand, and 2 of the elementals that cost reduce the other elementals in your hand. So you need 6 cards in your hand to start this combo. 10 mana on one turn, 10 mana the next turn, and a lot of time to replay the Fireplume enough times to kill your opponent. You can OTK them. I actually don't think you have time due to the rope to do all these things and Fireplume them like 15 times. Like imagine you have to Unwind them, but you have to play like 4 cards before you deal 2 damage. I genuinely think you don't have time. So it's a wacky combo. I'll probably try it out in the first day of the expansion just to get some sweet clips. And I'll try to be super fast and see if it's possible. But it's mostly like probably not possible. Also like, how does Shaman survive and draw enough cards to pull this combo off? I don't know. But yeah. Basically, this card is good if Elemental Shaman is going to be good. Same for this card. My prediction is that Elemental Shaman is not gonna be good. I think Evolved Shaman is gonna be the best Shaman, and this card is making it pretty good but not great. Now the last card of the set that Shaman got is the legendary weapon, the Rune Spear, 8 mana 3/3. After your hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. I think it's bad because on 8 mana you were gonna use your entire turn to cast a random spell. That's never good. You can just hit 3 bad spells and then you lose the game instantly. And I know there are some good spells that don't have a target, like AoEs or Evolve. But do you really want to pay 8 mana for an Evolve now? You want to pay 8 mana for an AoE when you can just play the AoE consistently in your deck? No. This is a fun card once you competitive play. The next one on my list is Warlock. Warlock, I think, got some pretty sweet cards, and let's go straight into it. I'm losing my voice. It's still super enjoyable to talk about all these cards. Like, it's one of the better made sets that I saw in a while. Like, until now, every single class got some significant good cards that are not broken for multiple archetypes. And I think the meta is gonna be pretty cool, unless the current decks are oppressive enough. Like, there's always the possibility that KLSF Rogue and Priest just become way better, but I'll keep this for final thoughts. Let's not get distracted, focusing on the cards. For 4/4 Demon, Hooked River, Battle Cry. If you have 15 or less health, gain +3/+3 and taunt. Well, you will never have less than 15 health on turn 4, so you already lose the upside when you want it. Later on, you might as well play bigger minions. Not good enough, not consistent. Once you play. Dark Pact, 1 mana, destroy a friendly minion. Restore 8 health to your hero. Not good enough, I think. It's not consistent heal. On the other hand, it's 8 heal. And you can destroy any minion. So maybe in a tournament where you want to build your Warlock deck just to beat something like, I don't know, Medivh Mage. If you feel like you need a heal, you might play this. But it's a card that is like -2. Like you play a card and you kill another card to heal 8. So -2 cards to heal 8, you really need to get a lot of card advantage. How do you get a card advantage in Warlock? You tap. So you're probably not gonna heal 8, you're gonna heal like 4 or something. I'd rather not play it. I don't think it's gonna be good. I'm not a control Warlock specialist, but I think you can play better cards. Possessed Lackey. Death Rattle recruit a demon. Same story. Death Rattles need to be insane. This is not insane. What if you play a deck where your only demon is like a massive demon? That's not really good because you always want to play Gul'dan. I don't know, I could see a deck where you play like Possessed Lackey and then you play like the big guy from Warlock, where is it? The Void Lord as your only demon. And then you play like Gul'dan only for the Void Lord. Seems inconsistent. I don't think it will see play. But I understand why it's 5 mana. If it would be cheaper, it could be abusable. School of Manari. 5 mana and at the start of your turn, summon a demon from your hand. Definitely not good enough if people play Weapon Hate. Probably not good enough if people don't play Weapon Hate either. So I don't think it's a good card. One of the weaker legendary weapons. It might see play like, I can see it seeing play. Let's say nobody plays Weapon Hate in like a future meta game. Then yeah, but unlikely right now. Kobold Librarian. Look at his eyes. That's how my eyes will be when I draw this card. I'll be like... This card is sick. Definitely gonna see play in Zoo. Might even see play in Control Warlock because it can combo your Defile. Even though that's not really a good argument, I'm just repeating what I heard other people saying and it makes sense in my head. I don't think Control Warlock really is gonna play this for the Defile factor. It might play just because they wanna play 28 card deck, and it also activates the Spellstone. So maybe they will play this and they will play the Vulgar Humongous and then they have enough to activate the Spellstone without having to play Flaming, let's say. I can definitely see this for that reason. And then they play Hellfire and they call it a day. So I can see this being played in every Warlock deck. This card seems too good to be true. It's good in every deck. It's good in like Keleseth Zoo. It's good in Demon Zoo. It's good in Control Warlock. You'll just play it everywhere. Vulgar Homunculus. Another fantastic card. Super overstated. 2 mana, 2/4. Taunt and the Demon. And it deals 2 damage to your hero. Which is not even a downside for Control Warlock. So I think Control Warlock is going to play this. Zoo is gonna be tricky. I personally think going full Demon Zoo, dropping Keleseth is the way to go. I like what Blizzard did. They made a pretty powerful 2 mana card that will make people consider cutting Keleseth to play this card. And I think we're gonna go for the full Demon package. There is also a 2 mana card called Demon Fire that buffs demons. There's the 3 mana potion that buffs demons. And both of those work really well with Vulgar Homunculus. And I think Demon Zoo is gonna be way better. It has so many synergies in the early game. It really seems powerful. It might even be a rogue counter, to be honest. And yeah, again, it will see playing Control Warlock because Control Warlock will want to play the Spellstone probably because it's a good way to heal and deal damage. And then Homunculus is already pretty good. It's a demon. Like, Control Warlock is right now playing Voidwalker. They might just not play Voidwalker and play this guy. Why not? And then you cut Voidwalker for the 1 mana guy that draws you a card. Bam, problem solved. And sick. Lesser Amethyst Spellstone. 4 mana, lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. It's a very good, powerful single target spell. You need to take damage to upgrade it, so it's gonna be very easy to upgrade it. you play 2 Vulgars, you play 2 Kobolds, and you play 1 or 2 Hellfires and 1 Abyssal or something like that. Very easy to upgrade it. Now, how many single target minions will there be in the meta? That we don't know, but Warlock already has AoE, and sometimes you struggled with healing and with dealing with big threats. This does both. I think some sort of control Warlock that plays the Amethyst and the Homunculus and the Kobold will be a thing. Might even be one of the best decks. Cataclysm. 4 mana, Warlock spell, destroy all minions, discard your hand. I don't think it's good enough. Even with Quest Warlock, you will not even be able to discard enough cards until turn 5 to activate your quest, to complete your quest. I don't think so, at least. Doesn't seem good enough, yeah. Void Lord. This card might be interesting. It might be interesting mostly with the new legendary that pulls a minion with 1, 2, and 3 attack from your deck. You might play this as your only 3 attack minion and then recruit it. That's why I'm thinking it might be powerful. I don't see it seeing play with in a deck that doesn't have that card. You can play it in Cruel Warlock, but that's not gonna be a thing. Let's get real. Like, serious competitive uses, I think is gonna be played in a deck that has the neutral 8 mana legendary that recruits 1, 2, and 3 attack minions from your deck, and you play this as your only 3 attack minion, and then you play a bunch of removals, and you play the new cards Kobold, Librarian, and Homunculus, and you can do some very nifty tricks and have very annoying boards, and then have Gul'dan. It's gonna be very disgusting, but I think it's gonna be quite nice. Rin, the First Disciple. You might also play Rin, by the way, in that deck. I don't think you mind if you pull the Rin either. So, Rin is basically Jade Idol for Warlock. 6 mana, 3/6 taunt, Death Rattle, add the first seal to your hand. And the first seal is like a 5 mana spell, which gives you the second seal, which is also 5 mana spell. And after you play a couple 5 mana spells, you get a 10 mana 10/10 or 20/20, doesn't even matter, which kills your opponent's deck. Just lets them out of cards. So this is gonna be a late game bomb. Think of how many times in Trinity series we played Warlock mirror matches and we had time to play with our mana. If you play this card on 6 and it dies on 6, on 7 you play the first seal, second seal on 8, third seal on 9, and then on 10 you can play 4th, 5th seal. On 11 you can play the 10 mana guy and you can seal the deal, to make a pun. He's gonna be very good against control, very bad against aggro. But maybe you can make your deck be that good against aggro with so many powerful early game cards like Homunculus, Librarian, and all the AoE you have, that you can just win late game by playing Rin. So I can definitely see board stalling Warlock that plays Void Lord and Rin and then plays the 8 mana neutral legendary be like one of the best decks in the game. It might be too slow to beat Priest, but in a tournament where you can ban Priest, this can be great. Also, if you can somehow manage to do this before they draw Andu and you beat them, but I don't think you will be able to. But yeah, again, it's Priest beating this. Maybe Druid is also too fast. And then maybe aggro decks are too fast, so more realistically, Rin is not gonna see play in the beginning of the meta and is only gonna see play in tournaments where you can have a ban and where you can control the meta game and you know what you're gonna face. But a Void Lord, Homunculus, Kobold, Librarian, Control Warlock probably will be a good deck in the next expansion. And Zoo also gets way better. So Warlock has 2 really good decks. I really think Warlock is gonna be one of the main contenders at the title of one of the best decks. It's gonna be under Priest, but it might be over Rogue. I don't really know yet. But Warlock seems to be insane in the next expansion. Maybe insane is too much. Maybe like tier 1, but the worst from tier 1. Warrior. Warrior didn't get that many good cards. Warrior is like the only class that didn't get interesting cards. Like, I don't know what you wanna do with Warrior. You won't be able to play Pirate Warrior. You won't be able to play Taunt Warrior. Are you gonna play Control Warrior? I don't know. let's start to look at the cards. 6 mana 5/9 Taunt, can only attack if you have 5 or more armor. It's a pretty decent taunt for 6 mana. It might see play in Taunt Warrior, but like it's so easy to kill, it's like so vanilla, it doesn't do that much. I really doubt it's gonna see play overall, because Taunt Warrior is probably not gonna see play. Kobold Barbarian, it's a worse Ogre Brute. And it's also Warrior specific. Ogre Brute didn't see play when it was a neutral, so I doubt this is gonna see play now. Warrior also is very competitive on the 3 mana slot in the aggressive decks, Frotting being the main MVP. So yeah, no chance this he plays. Wool Cleaver. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion. This just seems too slow. Again, like, you need to play it in a deck that plays only expensive minions. And in that deck you might as well just play the 6 mana card and bars. And like, is Buoyancy, Charge, Control Warrior even gonna be a thing? What's the win condition? No. Not good enough, not gonna work. That's my opinion on Wool Cleaver. Bladed Gauntlet has attack equal to your armor, can attack heroes. It's an interesting card, but I don't think it will see play because it's costed in such a way that you wanna have it in the early game, but in the early game it does nothing. And later on, let's say you have armor, you play a 2 mana weapon, it only has 2 durability, you cannot really use it efficiently. If it would have 3 durability, I think it could be a contender, but right now I don't think it's good enough to see play. A Reckless Flurry is like Blade Flurry with your armor, you have to lose your armor though. So again, it might make Control, Dead Man's Hand, whatever warrior better, but still not good enough. And even though it's a decent card and it might see play in the future if warrior gets better, right now I don't think warrior is gonna see play. So this card is not gonna see play either because of that. Dry Whisker Armorer. 2 mana 2/2, battle cry for each enemy minion, gain 2 armor. This card is actually legit good. But again, it's a 2 mana card. On turn 2 they don't have that many minions. You can play it and get like 4 armor into the Swashbuckler, that might be fine. But again, like, I don't see the archetype being a thing. Also kind of useless later on. If they have a big board, you lose anyways. Maybe you can play this and then brawl. Very unlikely to be a good card. You can play this and then kill your armor with Reckless Flurry. That's a combo. You're very likely to kill the entire board with a 2 card combo. Is this 2 card combo in addition to Sleep with the Fishes plus Warning Effects good enough to make Fatigue Warrior a thing? I doubt. Because Priest is a thing and because Druid is a thing and they can just bully this kind of deck. You might make it beat Rogue, but that's like the top end. Unidentified Shield. This can give you a Golem and 5 armor. So basically Shield Maiden, which is really nice. Deal 5 damage and 5 armor, which is not really nice. Give you a 5/2 weapon and 5 armor, which is, you basically get Arcanite Reaper and 5 armor. It's not bad. Or you can get 10 more armor. I don't know. This card is probably like the first one that might see play. All the options seem decent except in the 5 damage one, and you can make that decent too. If Control Fatigue Warrior is a thing, this card will see play. It's probably the best of the cards that gains a bonus effect into your hand. But right now I don't see Warrior being good. I predict Warrior is gonna be like the worst class the next expansion. So this, like, the Warrior card just won't see play because Warrior is gonna suck. That's the last Warrior card? No. Geosculptor Eep. 8 mana 4/8. At the end of your turn, summon a random minion with cost equal to your armor up to 10. Too slow. Like, even if you summon his charge, because both him and his charge have also his random minion actually, so you can summon any junk. But even if it was from your deck, just because he has an end of turn effect, the minion that you summon like Lich King or his charge is not going to have his own end of turn effect. So you have to wait 1 more turn. So it's only good if you summon something that has good stats, but because it's random, you cannot guarantee the stats, and there's minions with bad stats on every single mana cost, so this card is just pure garbage. Lesser Mythical Spellstone. Summon 1/5/5 Mythical Golem, and if you keep a weapon, you can summon another. If you keep a weapon, you can summon 3. Well, this card is good if Tempo Warrior becomes a thing. If Tempo Warrior becomes a thing, you can play a lot of weapons, Malkoroks, and imagine a situation like you already played the weapons and you have this card since like turn 4 or something, turn 3 in your hand. Comes turn 7, your board is empty, you have a weapon equipped. You just play 3 5/5s. It's great. They deal with your 5/5s, let's say you have another one. It's really good at applying pressure. It fits with what Tempo Warrior wants to do. What's the downside? Tempo Warrior sucks. Tempo Warrior is not gonna be a thing. Like, seeing the cards other classes got, Tempo Warrior didn't get enough with this card to be a thing. Might see play in the future if Tempo Warrior gets a boost. Might see play after the rotation if other cards are weak. But right now, won't see any play. Gather your party. Again, it's like the 6 mana spell from Priest. But I don't think Big Warrior is gonna be as good as Big Priest. I really doubt it. Priest has more efficient AoEs. They have more efficient ways of reviving minions. I mean, they have ways of reviving minions. It doesn't have anything to revive. No. Warrior, no. No card from Warrior is good. Like Reckless Flurry and the Armorer. But they aren't good enough right now. They might be good again after the rotation if we have like an aggro meta, not that many cards. But in such a well-polished metagame, with Priest being a deck, Druid being a deck, playing control decks just doesn't make sense. Quest Mage being a deck. Like, if you want to play a control deck, you get bullied from every front. And Warlock has like the most insane tools in the game, and they can barely have a good control deck if they ban Priest in tournaments, and on ladder is still not good enough. I don't think it's on this level, the Warrior. So yeah, that's it with the class cards. Let's go for neutrals. There's a lot of really good neutrals, but there's also a lot of filler. So let's see. Wax Elemental. When I first saw the plot, I was like, oh, another giant. I can play it in my wild deck. But then it's like a 1 mana card. It has 0 attack, so even though it's good for stalling, it's just not good because 0 attack just dies, doesn't do anything. You can play it in a deck that has buffs, like Aggro Druid, but Aggro Druid already has enough taunts. I don't think it needs Wax Elemental. Violet Worm. 8 mana, 7/7. Death Rattle summons 7 1/1 grubs. It's not good in constructed, it's too slow for what it does. 5 mana, 1/5. Taunt Poisonous. No. You don't want to pay a lot for Poisonous minions. Poisonous needs to be on cheap minions. Cheap and elusive minions. Like, cheap with Divine Shield. Cheap with Stealth. And giving them stats like, is this ever gonna survive an attack and attack 2 minions and kill them? No, because the minions that you want to kill are big. They're 5 attack or something. Toothy Chest. At the start of your turn, set these minions attack 4. No. It's 0 attack on your opponent's turn. It's 0 attack on his first turn. So it's kind of like Validated Doomsayer, but for 3 mana. Like, it's only good if you control the board. If the board is empty, you play this. On your turn, you're gonna have a 4/4. The downside is that if your opponent has the board, it's a 0/4 that they're just gonna kill. So, because this card is only good when you're ahead, it's bad. Stoneskin Basilisk. Divine Shield Poisonous. 3 mana, 1/1. Now we're talking. Decent card. Only downside I can see is like Mage and Rogue can take one of the procs easily, but if you think about, let's say, Warlock matchup, let's say you play this against Zoo, how are they going to kill it? You're gonna trade 1 for 2. So this card might see some play if in the meta people play board oriented decks and they don't play Rogue Mage. Or you can hide it behind taunts or something. I still think it's worse than the Wisp, than the 3 mana 2 to Divine, the 3 mana 2 to Stealth Poisonous. Because it's more likely the Stealth connects. This is also pretty likely to connect once. I don't know if it's gonna connect twice. But the issue is that it will not connect when you want it to connect. For example, the thing with the Wasp was that you can keep it for like 5 turns. This one you play it, they dagger it or ping it, and then it still can trade into 1 minion. But it will trade into 1 minion that they want to give away. You cannot wait with it until they play a big minion. But I still might see it at some point. Very low chance of seeing play, but it's not pure filler like the others. Also the art is really cool. I don't usually like to talk about the art because it's already a meme, but I like it. Sneaky Devil. 4 mana 2 to stealth, your other minions have +1 attack. This might be good in Zoo, if Zoo wouldn't already have a lot of good 4 mana cards. And also like, is giving your other minions attack. This implies you already have the board. If it would give them health in the attack, then it could be like an interesting blooding to consider, but because it only gives them attack, I don't think it's good enough. Won't make the cut in Zoo. Shroom Brewer. 4 mana 4 for restore 4 health. It's basically Farseer, but for 4 mana. Might see some play. If a deck needs heal, why not? Like maybe Miracle Rogue would play this if they don't play any good 4-drops and they need some heal in the meta. It's better than Farseer because Miracle Rogue already has too much competition on the 3 mana slot. So yeah, it might see play in Miracle Rogue. It might see play in Control Warlock if it needs a way to heal. Keep in mind you can also heal a minion. So that's why I'm thinking that it's quite good. Yeah, good card. It's a legit card. Especially now since the 3 mana slot is very competitive. Even decks that would normally play Farseer, they cannot afford to right now, they might play this card. So Shrieking Shroom. 3 mana 1-2 at the start of your turn. No, at the end of your turn. Summon a random 1-cost minion. A random 1-cost minion is gonna be like a 2-1. So you pay 3 mana for a 2-1 and a 1-2. No. It will never survive 2 turns, and even if it does, it's not that great. At least if it was a 1-3, still probably not good enough. Shimmering Cursor. 4 mana 3/3 beast. Only you can target this with spells and hero powers. I mean, it was shown in the reveal stream to work in like Buffeting, but even then I think if Buffeting Galvadon Paladin is gonna be a thing, it's not going to play Shimmering Cursor. I think it's gonna be played without it. I don't think this card is that good. It's only like 1 more health than Fairy Dragon, and yeah, you can buff it with your spells, but not many decks want to buff it. So no, it won't see play. Sewer Crawler, 3 mana 1-1. Battlecry, summon a 2/3 Giant Rat. Is the Giant Rat vanilla, no effects? Then isn't it the exact same as the other card we have? I forgot the name of it, that summons a boar. But that one is like a 2/3 that summons a 1-1. It's like a 1-1 that summons a 2/3. Won't see play, obviously. Scorpomatic, 2 mana 1-2. Mech. Battlecry, destroy a minion with 1 or less attack. This is interesting. Are there any expensive minions with 1 or less attack? I don't think so. How consistently can you kill something? Not so consistently. Not good enough in the current meta. Might be good in the future if there's gonna be like a 1 or 0 attack minion that is gonna be sticky and annoying. But I doubt it. Plated Beetle. 2 mana 2/3 beast. Death rattle, gain 3 armor. That's like a power creep to give her Croc. Still probably not good enough to see playing Hunter. Definitely. You might play it in a defensive deck, but I cannot think of a defensive deck that wants to play this. It might be good after the rotation, I don't know. Might be good in Arena. But in Constructed, I cannot really see a deck that wants to play this. Like, gaining 3 armor is worse than Farseer effect because you cannot heal your other minions Why Farseer is played in some of the control decks is because you can also heal your minions, which is very nice to have the versatility aspect. This only gives armor to you. And you play it early when the armor doesn't really help you once you play. Master Oakheart. This card is the daddy of Recruit. This card actually has mad potential. Cards that are usually good have instantaneous effects. This guy doesn't mess around. He summons a 1 attack, a 2 attack, and a 3 attack minion instantly. So you pay 9 mana, but you get 4 minions. And the one utilization that I was thinking of is in Warlock. You can summon a Voidwalker, the 2/4, and you can summon the 3/9 that summons Voidwalkers. And then imagine after that you just go down. Like, this is one utilization. I'm pretty sure there's more. I'm pretty sure this card will find play and will see play for quite a bit of time. I'm pretty sure even if it doesn't see play right now, it will see play in the future. It's a card that is really good. If this would be a death rattle, I don't think it would be good because again it's too slow. But because of the effect being instant, I think this card is gonna see play. So it's gonna be one of the legendaries that you have to craft. In my opinion. No, don't craft it instantly. Wait for a bit. Like it's not like Lich King. Don't go Lich King on Master Oakheart. Give it some time. You'll get there. Kobold Monk. I like the illustration. Let's not call it art anymore. 4 mana 3/6. Your hero can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. You would think that it's good against Raza Anduin, but then you just Shadow Pain this. It's the same as Mindbreaker. It's like so easy to kill. Like Raza Anduin just deals with minions. Plus they have the new AoE. Like if this guy would be like immune to hero powers, maybe then it would make it a bit more spicy. It would force them to have the 7 mana AoE to be able to get rid of it, but it's not gonna be a good tech card because they can just kill the minion very easily. It's also 4 mana. Like, I think if they want to make a tech card like this that is good against Raza Priest, they should have made something more expensive with better stats that also has the Fairy Dragon effect of being immune to hero powers and spells. Something like that could stop Raza Anduin if that's what they wanted. Like a 9 or 8 mana card with real stats and this effect plus not being able to... Like your hero in this card cannot be targeted by hero power spells. Something like that. That would have been a card. But this is the last set that we get before Raza rotates out. So it's pointless in the future if they make this card. Only for Wild maybe. They can save Wild. Because I think Anduin and Raza just get better and better in Wild. So maybe they should print one of that cards anyways just for Wild. This is like a Star Wars minion. Kobold Apprentice, 3 mana 2/1. Deal 3 damage randomly split among all enemies. This is basically Arcane Missiles on a 3 mana 2/1 body. Too expensive. I think it's worth like 2.5 mana. I would play this if it was 2 mana. It would maybe even be broken. They probably made it 3 mana because they don't want people to play it in like every deck and then complain about RNG. So, thank you Blizzard. Green Jelly. 5 mana 3/3. At the end of your turn summon a 1/2 ooze with Taunt. This is like mini Hogger. Not good enough. Way too expensive. Gravel's Nut Knight. 1 mana 2/3. Okay, I'm interested. Battle Cry. Summon a random 1-cost minion for your opponent. Guys, 1-cost minions are usually 2/1, but they can also be 1/2 or 1/1. It's very rare that they're more than that. If you summon a 1/2 or a 1/1, then you play a 1 mana 2/2. Can this card ever be good enough to see play in any deck? Zoo doesn't play it because there's no space. Kelesef Rogue could play this. I don't think they want to. No, I don't think they want to. It's good on turn 3 because you can just dagger down their 2-1. But it's not really that insane. I wouldn't say that this card is bad though. It doesn't really fit in any current deck, but it has some potential. It's not complete filler. It's very close from being able to be good. There's just too many 1-drops, and I think most of them are 2-1s. If most 1-drops are 1-1s, makes Maelstrom way better though. But I mean, with this, Maelstrom also received a lot of bad 1-drops. But you get the potential high roll on this guy. I don't know, maybe I overrate 1-mana 2/3s. I was also excited about Emerald Hive Queen when it came out and it ended up being junk. So, if Hive Queen didn't see play, this is not gonna see play either. Fungal Mancer, 5-mana 2/2. Battlecry, give a DSN minions +2/+2. So, basically kind of like Argus, but doesn't give them taunt. Gives them +2/+2. The thing is that on 5 mana, what decks would want to play this card? I think would play Scalebane instead. It's just more consistent. Scalebane is like more stats himself. This guy gives basically charge to 2/2. So it's technically better than Scalebane in some situations. I have to make some calculations. Maybe it's good enough to play it in Aggro Druid. It might actually be. Aggro Druid is the only deck I could see benefiting really massively from this guy. And one deck where this guy might be better than Scalebane. Because you don't care about the Scalebane being that big. This guy is a bad top deck, but if you play it on curve on your guys, you can also attack with them instantly. You can surprise your opponent. If you only hit 1 minion, it's quite bad, but Aggro Druid has a high likelihood of letting you hit 2 minions, especially with the new beast they're gonna get. So yeah, I can see this card seeing play in Aggro Druid. I think it will see play in Aggro Druid. Not sure if Aggro Druid is gonna be good, because it gets better, but other decks get way better. We'll see. Fungal Enchanter, 3 mana, 3/3. Battlecry, restore to health to all friendly characters. That's nice. Not sure how good it is. It's better than Farseer. Maybe in Control Warlock, because sometimes you want to heal your face and your minion, but it only heals for 2, so that might not really matter that much. I'm going with 1C play. Ebon Dragonsmith, 4 mana 3/4. Reduce the cost of a random weapon in your hand by 2. Pirate Warrior, playing this. 3 mana Arcana Reaper. So basically you get 2 mana less for a weapon. Might be good enough in Pirate Warrior, to be honest. It's very bad if you don't have a weapon in your hand, but if you have a weapon in your hand, you get really good value out of him. And it gives you like a mech turn 4, but then your turn 5 is gonna be sick. Still, Pirate Warrior will suck, so I will go with this card once you play. Dragon Slayer! Kind of like the Golaka for dragons. With dragons being so strong, I'm happy that there is a counter. And if people keep playing Kobolds Scalebane in every single deck, I can definitely see people starting playing Dragon Slayer to beat that. I'm going with Will See play once in a while, similar to Golaka. A bit less than Golaka. I don't think dragons are going to be as oppressive as pirates were. So it will see less play than Golaka, but it will see some play. Dire Maul. This card is fantastic. A lot of times I was saying on stream that all Hunter needs to be a really good deck, at least tier 2 deck, is a 1 mana 1/3 beast with nothing else. Blizzard delivered, but they made it a neutral, so now Aggro Druid can also use it. It's a fantastic card for both Hunter and Aggro Druid. Must play in both. Super sick card. Like he's like better than Firefly in those decks. Maybe not in Druid, because Druid wants to buff multiple minions. But in Hunter, it's better than Firefly, for sure. Hunter's biggest issue is that they had to play Firefly to have a consistent number of 1-drops, and then by playing Firefly, you ruin your beast energies because Firefly ain't a beast, but this guy is a beast, so. Cursed Disciple, 4 mana, 5/1, summon a 5/1 when he dies. Garbage. Dies too easily. 5 mana, 5/5 ooze. Destroy your opponent's weapon. Yeah, basically another ooze. It's pretty consistent ooze. It's like an ooze that you want to play in mid-range decks. Like Acidic Swamp ooze is probably a ooze you want to play in aggro decks. Harrison, you want to play it in control decks if you want to draw. Discard, you want to play it if you want the body. But I don't know, it's not that much better than Harrison. It's only like 1 health more than Harry. So I think you'll always play Harrison over playing this card. You might play this and Harrison, but that's like overkill. Maybe you want to play Harrison with Glimmerroot. So I'm gonna say that this is not gonna see play. But it might. Because weapons might be good, but I don't think they're gonna be that good. Okay, I said at the start of the review that I'm gonna make some bold predictions. So, bold prediction won't see play. Corridor Creeper costs 1 less whenever a minion dies while this is in your hand. It's kind of like the Nerubian guy that gets 1 cheaper every turn. It needs to be like 3 or 2 mana to be good. And he needs to stay in your hand for quite a bit of turns. Nah, not good. Boisterous Bard. 3 mana, free to give your other minions +1 health. Not good enough in my opinion. Also doesn't really fit in Zoo, and that's like the only deck where I could see it being played. If it was like 3 mana free, it would be good. The Darkness starts dormant, so like if you evolve into it, you'll just have it dormant with no battle cry. So it's like the worst evolution possible. Don't evolve into the darkness. Don't devolve into the darkness either. So the battle cry is shuffling 3 candles into your enemy's deck. When drawn, this awakens. The problem I see with this card is that it awakens on your opponent's turn always, since people only draw cards on their turn most of the time unless you Call Out Oracle them. And even if you Call Out Oracle them, you will not be able to attack with it because it doesn't have charge. So basically, your opponent always has 1 turn to attack and kill the darkness. This is why I don't like it. They always have time to respond to it. So basically the only use of it would be to stop Highlander decks. If you play the darkness on curve, they cannot play Raza unless they draw 2 candles. What control decks want to play an useless card just to stop Raza and Kazakus in some situations? This card will see 0 ladder play unless everybody's playing Priest and you want to attack. I don't know. Maybe some people are saying that maybe it's good to play it in Priest, because Priest can afford to have a bad turn, and in the Priest mirror match it might actually be good, because it matters who plays Raza first and such. So yeah, that's like the only situation I see it being played in, Priest mirror match. But then it's useless against like Temporog and most decks like that. But if you can build your Priest to be really good against aggro and you want an extra card against control, I can see the Darkness in play. So I'm not gonna say that it's completely useless. It has 1 utilization and probably can fit into Priest. It's hard, but it might fit. I don't like the fact also that it's only 20/20. At least make it 30/30 so you can just OTK them if they don't kill it. Still might see play because of the candles that can ruin the Kazakus Raza, because I expect Kazakus Raza to be the best Priest archetype. It depends, like if Dragon Priest is better, then this guy is not gonna be good, but if one of Priest is the best and everybody plays one of Priests, you should play the Darkness in your one of Priest to beat other one of Priests. It's crazy, but yeah, even a bad card like this might see play. After Raza rotates out, so in like 4 months, whatever that's gonna be, this card will not see play. Sleepy Dragon, just pile of stats, is 0 with no effect and has taunt. Just Filler. Void Reaper. 3 mana 3/3. Battlecry, swap the attack and health of other minions. So basically Crazed Alchemisting the whole board. And he's a demon. Man, this is like a serious consideration to play in Zoo. Yeah, it's gonna be something like if people play Doomsayers in the meta, you will play this in Zoo. At least as a one-off. But I expect a non-Doomsayer meta at least in the first part of the expansion. So this card won't see play in a big time. But at some point in like couple months, next expansion, next year, something like that, it might find a place. Because Doomsayer is always going to be a classic card. So Dragon Hatcher is like so bad. Too expensive for what it does. Furbolg Moss Binder. 5 mana 1/1. Battlecry, transform a friendly minion into a 6/6 elemental. So let's say you transform a totem, that would be like the best value. You on turn 5 you're gonna have a 6/6 and a 1/1. So it's basically big time Racketeer 1 turn earlier, which requires you to have a totem and sacrifice it. It's garbage once you play. Hungry Atin. 6 mana 4/10. Taunt, Battlecry, summon a random 2-cost minion for your opponent. 2-cost minions are usually 2/2s. Summon a 2/2 for your opponent. This is good in Taunt Warrior, because you don't care that you give him a 2/2. 4/10 is pile of stats. The issue is like, a Rogue has a way to deal with it. Priest doesn't. Like Rogue can Vilespine it or Sap it, whatever they play. Priest doesn't really have a way to deal with it other than the 7 mana AoE. 4/10 is solid as heck against Priest. If you think about it, the 2/2, if it attacks into the Hungry Etin, then you're gonna have a 4/8. So it's basically Primordial Drake without having the Battlecry, and it's 2 mana cheaper. This card is legit good. And it will see play. I'm not sure how much. I'm not sure where. Like, maybe Priest will want to play this. They don't want expensive cards. But it's good in the mirror. It's a 4 attack minion. Just attacks every turn. Nah, probably not good enough. It might be better than Primordial Drake in some decks. Druid doesn't want to play it. Rogue doesn't want to play it. Zoo doesn't want to play it. Just like the meta decks don't want to play it. Like, it's good against some of the meta decks. Decent against the others. Okay, prediction time. It's not gonna see play for quite some time. Maybe, probably, okay, it's not gonna see play the whole expansion, but it will see play next year. Hoarding Dragon. Give your opponent 2 coins. Downside is too big. Not good enough. Arcane Tyrant. 5 mana 4/4 cost 0 if you cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. This card will see play in Druid. I don't really think of another deck that might play it. Maybe Tempo Mage wants to play it, but I'm not sure how many 5 mana spells Tempo Mage is going to play. Is it even good in Druid? I don't even think you have space actually. Okay. Let's rephrase. I've given it some thought. Druid won't have space for this. They already have way too many good cards. So yeah, it's cool to get the 4/4 for 0, but I think you have better things to do. Yeah, no, once you play, never mind, once you play. Might see play after the rotation, but right now it just doesn't fit. Like, it's a good card, but it doesn't fit in any good decks. But it's a good card. It's kind of like Uther the Ebon Blade. Good card, but Paladin sucks, so one doesn't see play. But it's a good card. Grand Archivist. 8 mana. Already, like, 8 mana cards need to be like bonkers. 4/7. Start of your turn, so it needs to survive your opponent's turn. Okay, good luck with that. Cast a spell from your deck. Targets chosen randomly. It's a fun card. King Togwaggle. 8 mana, 5/5 Battlecry, swap decks with your opponent and give them the ransom spell to swap back. Yeah, this card, I cannot find a way to make it useful. I was talking on stream about it and we discussed it a bit, but there's just no way to make it efficient. Like, because they can play a card and give you the deck back, even if you give them a deck with bad cards, even if you give them an empty deck, they just play one card from their hand, get their deck back, and there's no point. Like, this guy is just bad. It would have been interesting, but maybe too powerful, if the ransom spell would be shuffled in their deck, because then you might have some incentive to maybe make a very big deck with a lot of shitty cards and give them that deck, and then they don't draw the spell and they can lose. Or, I don't know, something interesting. But right now it has like you give him the counterplay. Silver Vanguard. 7 mana, 3/3. Recruit an 8-cost minion. You can play an 8-drop of 7. I mean, it might see play at some point. If you play like Lich King and another card that is kind of like Lich King, but I don't know which, you could play this card and play it one turn earlier. I'm thinking right now, like, can Tempo Rogue ever play this and Lich King? No. It's very specific. Oh! I just saw, sorry. Death Rattle. I thought it's Battlecry. No, it will never see play. If it was Battlecry, then it would have been spicy. You could find some ways to make this work. As a Death Rattle, no. Sorry. Lone Champion. 3 mana, 2/4 Battlecry. If you control no other minions, gain Taunt and Divine Shield. I don't think decks that play no minions until turn 3 will benefit that much from having a 3 mana, 2/4. Tie Creeper is straight up better because you can play minions and then you'll have like a legit taunt. So yeah, once you play. Spiteful Summoner, 6 mana, 4/4, reveal a spell from your deck. Summon a random minion with the same cost. Like, it's only good if you're playing like only expensive spells. 4/4 is worth like 3 mana. So this needs to summon like a 4 or 5 mana minion to get the value. In a deck that plays only 5 mana or more spells, this might be like decent, but you only get a pile of stats. And a lot of decks don't need and don't want a pile of stats, especially because you get random things. I don't think it will see play because it's too conditional and too random. Zola the Gorgon, 3 mana, 2/2, choose a friendly minion and add a golden copy of it to your hand. Yeah, this card is the one used in the OTK combo with Shaman. But, I don't know. It might be good enough in Rogue. It might be better than the Rogue Legendary in KLSF Rogue, for example. I think it's a decent card. Probably still not good enough to see play in KLSF Rogue. So yeah, won't see play other than the OTK combo, which won't see play, so basically won't see much play. But it has some potential, it's an interesting card. I wouldn't say it's like complete filler. It's just very unlikely to be good. Rummaging Kobold. 3 mana, 1/3, return 1 of your destroyed weapons to your hand. It's not good because the only utilization you could find for this is Jade Claws, but if you Jade Claws on 2, you are overloaded on 3, so you cannot play this guy. So that's like out of the window. If it was 2 mana, it could have worked, because you could play Jade Claws on 2, Rummaging on 3, and then Jade Claws plus something again on 4, and it would be legit, and it would work, and you would play it. The fact that it has bad stats, like 1/3, it's okay, because you can evolve it, but I don't know. Like, you could play, if you play the Jade Claws this game, you could go turn 5 this plus Jade Claws, but it's not really like a power play. So I don't think you'll play this. This is like filler that looks good, or at least like people think it's cute. Would have been cool with Warzone Commander. Would have been cool if it was like, I don't know, give it charge and make it a bit more expensive. That'll be like interesting. But in the current form, it will never stick to attack, and even if it does, you get another one of those. Congratulations. Well, one health is like very easy to kill in Hearthstone. Guild Recruiter, 5 mana 2/4, Battle Cry, recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. Not really that good. It's not overpowered. Like 2/4 is pretty useless, and then you might, if you have like good 4 mana minions, you just play the 4 mana minions. You don't need to play this to pull them out of the deck. Carnivorous Cube, 5 mana 4/6. Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion. Devattle, summon 2 copies of it. This can be a good card, but it's super slow. I don't think you'll have time to destroy it and then summon 2 copies of it. Well, I might be wrong. This card has really good potential if it sticks and if it does the effect. But if it ever becomes that it is a meta with this card, I think people are gonna start playing a lot of Silence. Right now I don't think it's gonna see play, but it has some sweet nifty combos. Martin the Fox, you already know he's bad. And that's it with all the cards, guys. Overall, very impressed with the set. I'm looking really forward to playing with the decks. So many new interesting cards, especially for classes that had already a good archetype, but the second archetype struggled. I think there's gonna be way more classes right now that have 2 viable archetypes, and I'm looking forward to that because more options are always good, both for ladder and tournament play. You'll be able to construct different lineups with specific bans. I think this expansion opens a lot of possibilities, and it will take a lot of time for us to exhaust all the possibilities. I don't think we're gonna get bored of it, and yeah, reviewing these cards only made me more excited for the expansion, and I'm really looking forward to play with the new cards and trying them out in the tournament tournaments that I'll have this month. My next video on the YouTube channel will be a shorter video, like 10 minutes or something like that, where I will do a meta prediction, where I will tell you what I think is going to be dominating in the Kobolds and Catacombs meta, at least early on, or maybe even at the end, maybe even throughout the whole expansion. I don't know how I'll make the prediction video yet, but I plan on making more YouTube content in the near future, both videos where I review things or talk about things, and also having some stream highlights. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel to be notified when more videos come out. And I wish you a great day. I hope you're excited for the expansion as much as I am, and I also hope that I'm not that wrong on the card reviews. I try to be a bit more bold than usually because I wanted to get my point across, and I wanted to have like a definite opinion, not something like, oh, it might see play, it might. I just like gave you straight up opinions. So I hope most of them will come to fruition. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.